Welcome to another episode of Dr. Simone Says. My name is Simone Eastman Yuan. I am a medical doctor with sickle cell disorder. I am also the best-selling author of the books All Rise, The Sickle Cell Community versus the Medical Establishment, and A Doctor in a Patient's Body, Dreaming Big with Sickle Cell Disease and Chronic Pain. These days, I like to spend my time making sure that every sickle cell survivor becomes a sickle cell thriver because it matters that we live well. Hello, everybody,
Hello.
and welcome to another episode of Dr. Simone Says. And guess what? I have hubby in front of the camera this time. Whew, you don't know what I had to do just to get him here. Anyway, in the spirit of Valentine, I actually talked this guy into putting on a red shirt and sitting together to talk about a little bit about our lives and just share some of, what Valentine means to us, and just in light of, dealing with sickle cell. We just want y'all to know that, even with sickle cell, there's lots of love to be had. And so we just wanted to share some of that with you guys. So I made some questions, a few very, pointed questions that we could just share the answers with you. And the first question is, and by the way, I gave my husband the questions ahead of time so that he could just think about, what he would want to share. Okay, I did something, huh? Okay, so that he could think about what he wanted to share. So the first one is, what does Valentine's Day mean to you? So what does Valentine's Day mean to you?
Okay, so I guess I start off. Hello, everybody. This is Anakin. Valentine's Day. Many of you are not going to like the answer. It doesn't mean much to me. It is. It's just another day, and maybe it's the way I grew up. My earliest memory of Valentine before I got married, before I started dating, I was in college, and I guess love was in the air on campus, and I'm like, well, this is my best friend, so one of my classmates. So I just decided to just write him a card, but it's more like not like I love you, like not romantic, but it's more like I appreciate you. Thanks for being my best friend. At least at that time.
Quite get the concept of Valentine. So
I remember returning to the dorm and giving it to him, and say thanks, but okay.
he didn't know what to make of it.
It didn't make him a guy giving a guy, but that was my first memory of Valentine, ever. So,
nothing wrong with giving your friend a Valentine.
Anyway, that's what I could share about that.
Okay. Well, okay. So, what does Valentine mean to me? When I was growing up, Valentine just was very, innocent love. It was, love for my mom. I remember looking forward to, getting a card, to give to her. But then I think, as I got older and, started dating, Valentine, the rest of the year, of course, we display and demonstrate our love for each other. But it was just one, weekend that I could get spoiled. And hey, I wasn't gonna pass up on that. So, that's more of what it's come to really mean. For me, it's it's become honestly another day, but I do try to note the day because I think just for the specialness of it, I look for any reason to celebrate. And with having sickle cell, you know that there are times when we want to celebrate things and we're not well. So if I am well and there is a Valentine that comes around, you best believe I'm going to be celebrating to the hilt, because I look for any reason to celebrate to the hilt when I'm well. So I'd say that's what Valentine's Day means to me. And then the second question is, what was the most fun time you can remember having with me for Valentine's Day?
I go again.
Oh, you want me to go?
Yeah, why do you go? Because
Okay.
I don't know about fun. I know memorable,
Okay.
but
Well, I remember fun. So
Okay.
my funnest memory was of me being well and of my husband creating this whole weekend where I think we went to a Marriott hotel. It was either the Embassy Suites or the Marriott Hotel, but we went to those are like our two top ones. So so we were at a hotel, and then that night he took me dancing. And we danced, and I was fine. I didn't have a sickle cell crisis. I wasn't in pain afterwards. And then we came back to the hotel, and then the next morning he had ordered breakfast in bed for me, and I just thought that is so cute, even in a hotel. So I just, of course, I remember it more because it was a time when I was more physically okay. A lot of life has happened since then. I've had hip replacements and things that make it harder to dance. Obviously I wear portable oxygen, that makes it harder to dance. But back then I was so free, and we just went out and danced, and it was okay, and we could just pick up. We didn't have kids. We could just pick up and take off and have a great weekend. So I think I remember it because of that. Do you
Okay.
remember that?
Not at all. Not at
Oh
all.
my gosh. Die. Anyway.
Well, for me, I'm glad you have that memory.
Thank you. I'm like, wow. Gone. It's gone.
Hey, for your consumption.
Yes, I will consume.
For me, the word isn't fun, is more memorable. And that is my first Valentine with her, and being my first girlfriend. I didn't know how, okay, for those of you who don't know me, which is most of you, I'm an introvert, like many of you out there. And so I didn't have a girlfriend coming into the marriage. And like I said earlier, my first Valentine's card was to my best friend, a guy, a classmate, So with that in mind, I'm thinking, okay, what do you do as a boyfriend, on Valentine's Day, for your girlfriend? What's encouraging? So I'm racking my brain. I'm not like that. At least I don't consider myself that creative. So I realized that she doesn't like chocolate that much. She puts it at an arm's length away from her. But she loves chewing gum. She loves chewing gum. So I thought, you know what? For me, I love chocolate. So I thought, you know what? Buy a box of chocolate, with the heart-shaped box. And so I bought it. I emptied it. I removed all the chocolate candies in it. And I had bought some packs of gum to put in the box in place of the chocolate. So that's what I did, a variety pack, and I closed it up, wrapped it up, and I had written out a card, to her, and that's what I presented to her. Our very first Valentine's, so which was a good 2 years, a year before marriage, thereabout.
2 years.
So this
before,
was
2 years.
Valentine's 1996, to be
Yes.
exact,
Yeah.
February 1996.
Yeah.
So a year before we got married. So anyway,
Oh,
that's
yeah, okay.
so that's my most memorable Valentine's because of and it was special because when I gave it to her, she beamed. She was, it hit the spot. It was unique. Chewing gum instead of chocolate. She didn't have to go through the stress of trying to consume all the chocolate. Now for me, I say, hey, you know what? It's not going to waste. I love chocolate. Anyway, that's my memory.
Yeah, I'm not it's not that I don't like chocolate. Chocolate doesn't like me, and so I end up being triggered by it. Most of you probably have that history, so I just have kind of put it at an arm's length, and over the years I've gotten used to that. But I do. I remember your favorite. I remember your memorable, and I do remember being impressed that he remembered. By then, we had been going out for a while, but just that not only that he remembered that I don't like chocolate as much, but that he thought to put something that I liked in its place, in this that I love, in its place into this heart-shaped box. So I thought it was really cute and creative and original, and so he got a star for that one. So
Thank you.
Okay, so number 3, what is the worst Valentine's you can remember? And I will go because I actually, February 14th, 2006, I had back surgery. And I'm sure that you guys can relate to this. I have spent every holiday, anniversary, birthday in the hospital. I mean, it doesn't, I can think of, have you ever spent a birthday in the hospital? Yes. Have you ever spent Thanksgiving? Yes. Have you ever spent Christmas? Have you ever spent New Year's? Have you ever spent your anniversary? Yes, right? So, Valentine's Day was no surprise. They scheduled it on Valentine's Day. I wanted to change it, and they said that was the only schedule they had available. And based on the amount of pain that I was in, I took it because the wait after that was going to be like long. And so, so I ended up having back surgery. That was horrendous, by the way, because they tried to put me under, and the anesthesia didn't take. And so I felt everything. We actually had to talk with the department afterwards because of that, because it was just, it was horrible. It was like, being cut open while you're awake. So, so that was my worst Valentine, not because of anything that he did, but because of the situation, that was happening.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
No, I don't. I don't.
You
No,
don't
I know.
remember
No,
that
I remember that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do.
Oh.
I kept thinking, I want to punch this guy in the face. Like how could he? How could he put my wife through that? I just thought of him as an uncaring physician. Yeah. So
He wasn't very remorseful about what happened either, so
yeah.
it was kind of hard.
But I do remember that. But in terms of like worst Valentines,
like any other one, you can't remember.
no, nothing comes to mind.
That's okay, because I can't remember anyone outside of that one either.
Yeah.
Why do you think we've survived the years to see many Valentine's days?
You know what? I would say God, to shed more light on that. Okay. So, we were single, and then we got married, and then we came together, and for you guys, maybe you guys can relate to this, I hope. I would love to believe I'm not the only person. Laundry. You know, we learn how to do laundry, at least we think we've arrived doing laundry. And so coming to the married home and trying to do laundry and, say, hey, you could do it this way. You could do it better, for better results. I'm like, oh, okay. Then I realized that because of her health, she would have a crisis, earlier on. And I'm like, oh. So I decided to, do the laundry constantly, say, don't worry about it, because I saw the effects of doing laundry when it came to her sickle cell. So I felt like that was kind of like the least I could do. Over the years, as she's gotten more stable, I would say, with the help of other therapies, she has done a little bit more, if not the whole thing, which is rare. But sometimes she'll offer to help sort or help fold, put them away, and I try to say, no, be careful, are you sure? So that was, an act of love, care,
love in action.
just to make sure that she did not go through a crisis. The other one was grocery shopping. Grocery shopping is a stressor. She was in medical school at the time, as you know, she's a doctor. She was in medical school at the time. She didn't have the time, So that, and then plus her health. Grocery stores, you think about going to the cold section, the refrigerated section.
Sometimes the whole store is cold.
But yeah, well, to her, the whole store is cold, But but especially the freezers, the refrigerators, where you get your milk, your meats, and the like. So she could come back in pain, because of exposure to the cold. So I say, I'll go shopping. Oh boy, transitioning from a single guy to a married guy, like interesting.
Lots of cereals,
So
none of them mine.
I went, my first grocery shopping, was all about me, Anakin's list. So when I came home, I said, okay, I went shopping. And then she looked at me, I was like, what's for me? What's for the household? And I was like, oh, whatever was for the household was really my preference, not really hers. So early lessons, be considerate, listen, learn. But those are so.
You've grown so much.
Those are like so.
Amazing.
Maybe relatively superficial when you think about the big picture, more serious matters of the heart. Just love, respect, humility. Understanding, having. Listening with the heart, not just with the head, and just not, I got it. And just having people in our lives to help us grow, because you don't have any training in sickle cell unless you grew up in a family with sickle cell warriors, and you kind of knew how to handle each other before getting married. For me, not a clue. And so it's kind of like a baptism through fire in a way. I'm like, what is this? Yeah, I know about dating. We were dating. Yeah, fine. I was like, oh, wow, living with it. Oh, okay. God will see us through. Mm-hmm. God will see us through. Okay, that's a new twist. Oh, we have to go to the hospital now? Oh, now? I was like, there's no advance warning, kind of like, I gotta go. And so you drop everything, and you have to learn. I had to learn personally. I had to learn a lot. So personal growth is crucial, to being able to see many years together. Yes, and I'm grateful. So by the power of God, and we've made it this far. It's 22 years and counting. So
22 more. 22 and 22 and 22. Oh yeah, I didn't answer. Yeah, I agree. I agree with him. I think it's. I saw this saying that said, a great marriage is a union of two great forgivers, and I really believe that's true. I have had to learn how to forgive quickly, not hold on to things, not brew about things, because sometimes as women we can just stew for a much longer time, whereas my husband could be like, oh, okay, we would talk about something hard, and then he'd forget it, like he could move on. And so I had to learn how to do the same. And I think that being able to bear with one another, even during the rough times, it's not every day, that you're going to feel butterflies, but, you remember who this person is, who it is that you loved, and why it is that you chose to spend the rest of your life with this person by your side. And I think when I do that for myself, I'm able to push through the hard days, when, we have to, go through finances and, and moves and cross-country moves and, all of those things, and hospitalizations and all of those things. It becomes easier when your friend, is by your side. The person you love is by your side. So yeah, I mean, it's funny because it seemed like it was 1 month at a time. Then we were like, yay, we made a year. And then it was 1 year at a time. And then we were like, yay, we made 7 years. We're so proud of ourselves. And then, we just, I don't know, somewhere along the line, I just stopped counting and just kept living and looked up, and here we are. And it's 22 plus years of being married, and we dated for 2 years, before that. So, God has been very, very, very faithful, and He has taught us a lot. We have had to submit, we have had to bow, and He has taught us how to grow old together. So that's pretty much all I have to. Any last minute comments that you have?
Last minute comments. So regarding Valentine's Day, I know I find myself maybe being irritated, by what's portrayed. One day out of 365, 366 days each year, typically, the guy, goes out and does somersaults, romantic somersaults for his wife or girlfriend.
Somersaults, okay.
And then after, when the day is over, it's back to maybe the mundane. And so for me, I just thought, Valentine and Sickle Cell, I think that, Valentine should be more than one day. Just showing love to your spouse, to your girlfriend or boyfriend, each day. Love, respect, those little things that are more substantive, instead of waiting for that one day to, splurge, maybe
on chocolates.
Yeah, well, I was thinking splurge, like go get a rock, So, oh, time to get a necklace, time to get a ring, some bling bling. And sometimes he may not really have the finances for that, or the media, Hollywood commercials, they sell us on, and a brand new car, you get this, for the one you love. I'm like, that's not realistic. That's not the average American. That's not the average person. But I think that 365 days, if we can even show love to each other 300 of those days, you know what? To me, Valentine's Day is just just another day. It's like, okay, what else? Okay, once in a while, do something special, but not like doing those somersaults, just to show that you love her in this case. So that's my comment. And for those of you in my position as a caregiver, keep on loving, keep on caring, keep persevering, and learn along the way. Learn along the way, and don't see your partner, your friend, whoever you're giving care to, as the person who only takes from you, but believe that you can also take from that person, like learn from that person. They bring value to it. Again, Valentine's is deeper than chocolates and stones or rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Happy Valentine's Day.
The man speaks. I think I'll leave it at that, because I think those were words to ponder. So happy Valentine's to you, and we will talk to you another time. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye. Until next time, this is Dr. Simone Says, and remember, you are a sickle cell thriver and not just a survivor. If you benefited from this episode any at all, please like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with one other person as your good deed towards the sickle cell cause. Have a great day. If you would like to contact me to speak in your area, please don't hesitate to email me at drSimoneSays@gmail.com. If you are the one referring me, please let me know so that I could send you a nice thank you surprise.